Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, right? Never know anymore what day it is around here. It's nice to see you. So I've changed up the process by which I plan for my trades, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that today. So welcome, happy to see you here. If you're on the Periscope, if you're on the Facebook or whatever else, I think we're probably going to do another giveaway this week. I don't know what we're going to give away. Something cool. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. And super excited to spend some time with you. So I'm going to share my screen. It's going to go all funky and weird for a second, and then it's going to look normal again. So there we go. It's going to look funky and weird. All right. So here is my trading for the day. So here it is. I did this was much smaller today, $139 on Square puts and $390 on a buy trade on RIOT. It's kind of a blockchain Bitcoin thing. You can see here the transaction records and the statement records. I took no additional other trades today. These are the only trades I took. And I just wanted to share those with you first of all. And then what I want to do is talk to you a little bit about how I think I didn't quite get myself ready for the trading day in a way that was as productive as it could have been. And it's I don't want to be whiny about it or whatever, but I think I could have done a better job in getting prepared. Whether or not it led to a different result is sort of irrelevant to me anyway. What's relevant is that I think I could have done, a better job of getting ready. So oh no, I don't have any water. Okay. Getting ready. Sorry about that. So getting ready. So what I've been doing is what I call process visualization. And what this is most people, when they think about goals or they think about accomplishing things, what they do is they visualize the end result, right? They visualize the goal they have in mind. And we do this all the time. We daydream about the house we'd like to be in, the person we'd like to be with, the car we want to drive, or the money that we want to have in the bank. That we visualize the end result. And there's a lot of wisdom in that. And I have a lot to say about those kinds of things that I've already said on all of these channels and whatnot. But what process visualization is instead is it's the process of visualizing the work that goes into it. So visualizing building the watch list, taking the trade, and managing the trade. So what's included in this is like visualizing like, so at night I lay in bed and I have my laptop on my lap and I'm watching TV and I'm typing on my little MacBook Air and I'm building a watch list. And so what I will do at some point today is I will actually stop and close my eyes and visualize myself building that watch list, which is kind of, I don't know, I really enjoy doing that. And then I do a better job of building that watch list. And I did this last night yesterday, and then I did a really great watch list last night. I built the watch list, and it's a list of stocks that I know I'm interested in for the various systems that I trade. And then that night, and then in the morning, I visualized taking the trade. So I actually think about placing it with the right size. So I was thinking about trading RIOT today, and it was trading at something like $11.95 at the open. And when I traded it today, and here it is here it is on the bottom corner here of the charts, and it dropped down, and I bought it on the dip. I bought it at $11.95 or 94 cents. I bought it at $11.94. I think that's what it showed in the record. And then it jumped, and I got out. And so I visualized myself placing that trade, but I visualized trading 2,000 shares times $11.95. It was going to cost me about, I put about $23,000 into the market. So it's always important to disclose, like I made that money today, but that's how much money it cost me to make that money. So I I used $23,000 of capital to place that trade today, but I visualized, I knew I was going to spend $20,000 to $25,000 placing the trade. And so I knew going into it that I was going to do that. And I also visualized myself placing a trade on either Baidu or Square or Peloton, all of which were super, 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 super overbought, which doesn't always mean anything. And I wanted to sell these or buy puts. And I visualized buying the 15th of January puts on each one of these instruments. And then I woke up today and I did that. And then I visualized myself managing the trade. And I did this too. And I sort of saw myself making about $1,200, and I could visualize like, okay, the trades are open, the trades are running, the trades are going. And all of this, I did this process visualization, I did it pretty well. Here's what broke down this morning. I woke up late and I rushed. And this brings me to my final element of something that I'd like to do a better job of tomorrow. Is on Monday when I did better, I was up at like 5:30 a.m. and I had plenty of time to re-visualize and re-prepare and re-get set up. And today when I was rushed, I wasn't in the right frame of mind. And when I got to the managing the trade, I was kind of frantic and worried about it. The reason process visualization is so important is what it does is you've played in your mind the process. So when you're in a trade and it's doing things that make most people worried, you've seen it in your mind and you've already played it out. It's sort of like visualizing yourself running a race, visualizing yourself in a job interview. And by the time you get there, you've run it through your mind a bunch of times. If you run through something in your mind 100 times, your brain eventually doesn't know the difference between having already done it and thinking about doing it. And what you're trying to do when you process visualize is imagine having done it already so that it doesn't worry you. And one of the biggest things that gets us right in the middle of a trade is our emotions. And today I just was frantic. I was worried. I took a phone call from my attorney at 7:40 a.m. That got in the way. And so then I had to look at a spreadsheet and I had to like update some number things. And so my mind was in a different place and I hadn't blocked the time out. And what happened was I ended up being distracted. And when I realized I was distracted, this is what I did well. When I realized I was distracted, I closed everything. I just closed it all down. And I ended up with, what did I end up with? $400 or $500. Now, it's not a really great risk to reward. I probably risked $1,000 total, maybe even more than that, in order to make that. It's not a great risk to reward. It wouldn't be what I call a successful day, except for the fact that when I realized I was distracted, and when I realized that I was, as many times as I had played this in my mind, I was not mindful, and I was not there present for the trading that I was doing. I just closed everything and I just walked away from it. And I can still take a trade later on today. I don't know what in the world it would be, but I could still take a trade if I want to later on. But what I would prefer to do at this point is just close the books on the day, take it, walk away, and then do a better job and prepare for tomorrow. And this is this final idea, this fear of missing out, right? Today's looking like it's a big day for Facebook dropping. It's a big day for some stocks dropping. And what happens is I will start to say to myself, oh, wow, if I could just this back on the stream. If I could, I just got to get back in there and I got to do a good job and I don't want to miss the trades and I don't want to wait until tomorrow. And then Thursday, the market's not really going to be good. And Fridays, the market's going to be closed. And then we get into a holiday week where I traditionally don't trade very well in the week between Christmas and New Year's. Why would I be doing that? It's just important, once again, to go back and visualize this stuff. So have you ever dealt with that where you're done for the day and then you jump back in, or you're done for the week and you jump back in on Friday? So what I'm going to encourage you to do is visualize the process. Hey, my Linda, how are you? Visualize the process of stopping. Okay, I'm done. And then visualize the process of moving on to other things in one's life and moving on to the process of planning and getting ready for the next batch of trades tomorrow, instead of trying to rectify or get back at the market. So Peter says, try to catch a falling knife is always bad news. No, trading without a plan and risk management is bad news. Like, you got to be careful about like criticizing a general take on the market. Remember, buying things at a discount is traditionally viewed as a very intelligent thing to do. I'm not telling you that it's wrong or right. And many traders just repeat these maxims, but then they go out and they use coupons. I mean, what's that? I mean, so anyway, with all of that said, it's nice to see you here, Peter. And yo, Braddock, how are you? I just want to say you have to get into the process, especially if you have, like me, if you have a tendency to overtrade or you have a tendency to sort of experiment with the fear of missing out. You need to visualize the process of stopping and executing your plan. There's a great book by Bill Walsh, coach of the San Francisco 49ers, may he rest in peace, called The Score Takes Care of Itself. Don't even have to buy the book. Who cares what the book is about? I'm sure it's a bunch of things about it. And then this guy threw this thing to somebody else and then snapped a towel at another guy in the locker room or what. I don't know what the book, I don't even know what the words inside the book are. But in the class of National Football League coaches like Tony Dungy back in the day and Bill Walsh, the idea was if you get the individual pieces of the process right, that the score takes care of itself. And you don't plan for the big play. You don't just visualize the big play. You plan for getting the details right, making the tackles and lining up correctly. All those kinds of things. And that's what I spend most of my time visualizing now, including the process of stopping and visualize yourself making those right decisions. There you go. So maybe we could come back tomorrow and look at some trades that are coming up. I'm going to send you about 900 million emails about a presentation I'm going to do on the 29th. My good friend, my best friend in the world, Marquet, is going to do a webinar today. You've probably got a bunch of emails about that. That starts in about 29 minutes. So what I think you would do now is I think you should get in your email and look for some emails. That presentation, as she always is, will be entertaining and informative. And remember, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. And I love the crap out of you. And I'll see you all. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now, everybody.